12 cruise ship mistakes that make passengers hate you. More cruise complaints are caused by passengers than by food, cabins, or weather combined. Today we're breaking down the small cruise behaviors that quietly turn fellow passengers against you, ending with the one mistake crew members say changes how people treat you on board almost instantly. Before we get into anything else, this one happens within the first 5 minutes on board, and people remember it less all week. 1. Elevator behavior that triggers instant resentment. The doors open and someone charges in before anyone can step out. On a cruise ship, elevators are small, frequent, and unavoidable, so when basic flow breaks down, frustration multiplies fast. Unlike hotels, passengers ride together dozens of times a day, which means faces are remembered. Do this wrong once and you've quietly labeled yourself by day 2. Cruise veterans know the unspoken rule. Let people exit fully, step aside if needed, and never block the center while deciding your floor. It's not politeness, it's efficiency. Elevators move faster when courtesy leads. The practical move is simple. If the car is full, wait for the next one or take one flight of stairs. You'll arrive calmer and without earning silent enemies. Respect speeds things up. 2. The pool chair claiming mistake. Here's a question seasoned cruisers ask themselves early. When does planning ahead start feeling like entitlement? Grabbing a pool chair at 7 a.m. and disappearing until noon is one of the fastest ways to irritate half the deck. It doesn't matter that you woke up early. What people see is empty space being withheld. The real-world impact is subtle but real. Guests circle, tempers rise, and by afternoon, certain towels are getting noticed. Crew members see it too, even if they don't intervene. The smarter approach is rotation. Claim chairs when you're actually using them, or choose off-peak hours when space is plentiful. Fair use earns quiet goodwill, and goodwill makes cruises smoother. This next mistake surprises a lot of smart, experienced travelers because it doesn't feel like it affects anyone else. 3. Balcony door errors most passengers don't understand. It seems harmless. Open the balcony door, enjoy the breeze, relax. But on modern cruise ships, cabins are part of a carefully balanced airflow system. When a balcony door stays open while the air conditioning runs, pressure shifts across multiple rooms, not just yours. That's why nearby cabins suddenly feel warmer, louder, or oddly humid. The impact spreads quietly. Other passengers complain. Crew members trace the issue. And while no one knocks on your door, your cabin number gets noted. One open door can affect dozens of people. The simple fix is discipline. Balcony door open means air conditioning off. Always. Close the door fully before turning it back on. You'll stay comfortable and you won't unknowingly disrupt half a hallway. Small habit. Wide ripple. 4. Loud conversations in quiet zones. A cruise ship feels relaxed, so people assume the rules relax too. Libraries, observation lounges, and early morning coffee areas are designed as low-noise spaces, but sound behaves differently at sea. Hard surfaces, enclosed decks, and curved ceilings carry voices far beyond where you're sitting. The real-world result is predictable. Someone trying to read puts their book down. A couple leaves early, and everyone nearby remembers exactly where the noise came from. The adjustment is awareness, not silence. Lower your voice one notch, especially indoors, and pause conversations when others are clearly settled in. If you want to talk freely, step outside or choose busier venues. Consideration keeps shared spaces usable and keeps you welcome. If you've ever felt tension in a buffet without knowing why, this is usually the reason. 5. Buffet line shortcuts that enrage everyone. It always starts the same way. Someone steps in from the side and says, "I'm just grabbing fruit." On a cruise ship buffet, lines may not look formal, but they are very real. People notice who's been waiting, who hasn't, and who thinks the rules don't apply to them. Because meals repeat daily, the same faces see the same behavior again and again. The impact isn't dramatic, but it's lasting. Eye contact disappears, courtesy dries up, and the person who cut the line becomes that guy for the rest of the sailing. The easy solution is simple discipline. Enter where others entered, even if you want only one item. If the line feels long, come back 10 minutes later. Patience buys peace, and peace tastes better than rushing. 6. Ignoring dress codes, why it actually matters. Dress codes on cruises aren't about fashion. They're about shared atmosphere. When a dining room is designed for an evening experience and someone arrives in gym shorts and flip-flops, it breaks the tone for everyone else. Staff notice, guests notice, and the room quietly feels less special. Veteran cruise directors often say dress standards improve behavior overall. When people dress with intention, they act with intention. Conversations soften. Service flows smoother. The practical move is minimal effort. One collared shirt, one pair of proper shoes, one decent outfit. That's all it takes. You'll fit in anywhere on board, and you'll never feel out of place at dinner. Once the sun goes down, the rules on a cruise quietly change, and this is where many people slip up. 7. Cabin door slamming, especially late at night. Cruise cabin doors are heavier than they look, and they close with authority. Late at night or early in the morning, one slammed door doesn't just wake a neighbor, it echoes down the corridor. Unlike hotels, ship hallways are enclosed steel spaces, which means sound travels farther and lingers longer. The real-world effect is cumulative. Sleep gets interrupted, tempers shorten, and the person causing the noise may never realize they've disturbed dozens of people in seconds. The adjustment is simple but intentional. Guide the door closed with your hand, especially after evening shows or early excursions. That small pause protects everyone's rest and quietly signals awareness in shared spaces. Quick pause. If you cruise or plan to cruise again, this channel is for you. I post videos like this breaking down cruise mistakes, unspoken rules, and things that quietly ruin trips. If you've already recognized someone you've seen on board, you'll want the rest of these. 8. Treating the crew like personal servants. Most cruise passengers are polite, but tone separates courtesy from entitlement. Crew members handle long hours, tight schedules, and hundreds of guests a day. When requests come with impatience or demands instead of respect, it changes how interactions unfold. Not out of spite, but out of human response. The impact is subtle but real. Service becomes efficient, not warm. Flexibility narrows, and extra effort quietly disappears. The smarter approach is simple phrasing. Greet first, ask clearly, thank genuinely. Crew members remember respectful guests, and those guests consistently receive better service. On a cruise, how you ask often matters more than what you ask. This one creates more awkward standoffs than almost any other onboard situation. 9. Saving seats for entire groups. Saving a seat for a late spouse is one thing. Saving an entire row is another. On cruise ships, seating for shows, lectures, and events is limited, and passengers arrive early because they know it fills fast. When one person blocks multiple seats, it doesn't feel like planning, it feels like taking. The real-world result is tension. People hesitate to ask, staff step in, and the atmosphere shifts from anticipation to irritation before the event even starts. The better approach is staggered seating. Let 1 or 2 people sit early and have the rest arrive together closer to start time. It keeps things fair and prevents uncomfortable moments that linger longer than the show itself. 10. Talking through shows and lectures. It's rarely shouting, usually it's whispering. But in a theater designed for clarity, even quiet conversations travel. When someone talks during a performance or lecture, everyone within several rows hears it. And unlike applause, those interruptions don't fade into the background. The impact is immediate. Focus breaks, enjoyment drops, and frustration builds quietly until it overshadows the event people waited for. The fix is timing, not restraint. Finish conversations before the lights dim, or step out if something needs discussing. Giving performers and speakers your full attention improves the experience, for you and everyone around you. Ironically, this mistake happens at the very end of the cruise, and it often ruins the last impression. 11. Rushing to disembark first. When the ship docks, something strange happens. Calm travelers turn into sprinters. Passengers crowd stairwells, hover near exits, and stand shoulder to shoulder, believing that getting off first saves time. In reality, disembarkation is a controlled process, and rushing rarely moves anything faster. The impact is stress. Crew members push back, bottlenecks form, and what could have been a smooth final morning becomes tense and uncomfortable. The smarter strategy is patience with purpose. Wait for your called group, stay seated, and move when directed. Ships now stagger exits more efficiently than ever, and calm passengers almost always reach customs faster than the impatient ones. 12. The mindset that makes every other mistake worse. Every mistake in this video has one thing in common, and it isn't behavior. It's the belief that a cruise is a private experience instead of a shared one. When someone treats the ship like it exists solely for them, small actions start to grate, and tolerance from others disappears quickly. The real-world impact is isolation, fewer friendly interactions, less goodwill, and a trip that feels colder than it needed to be. The adjustment is awareness. Pause before acting, notice who's around you, and remember that everyone on board paid for the same escape. That mindset doesn't just avoid conflict, it improves the entire cruise. Cruises work best when everyone remembers one simple truth. You're not alone, but you're not powerless either. Small choices shape how smooth, relaxed, and enjoyable the voyage feels, not just for others, but for you. If you made it through this list and realized you're not doing most of these, you're already ahead of a lot of passengers. And if you're planning another cruise, this channel is for you. I break down cruise mistakes, unspoken rules, and things that quietly ruin trips before they happen. This video is for informational purposes only. It is not professional travel, medical, or financial advice. Always consult qualified experts before making decisions. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.